Hey everybody, it's me, Luna the Zen Witch, with another unboxing of an Oracle deck, and I am in full hag mode tonight. Our internet is out, so I can't upload this until tomorrow, probably. Too fucking hot to dry hair or anything, so you got this, like, I am full swamp hag, and I'm loving it. It was so hot and swampy out there today, but we got a little bit of rain. Booyah. So anyway, gonna bring you a deck today that is one of the first gift decks that I received, and it's just amazing. I used this on Wednesday night when I did my readings. July, what was that? The 15th, I think. This is the Faeries Oracle by Brian Froud, text by Jessica Macbeth. And you can see by the book it's seen a little bit of wear. My sister-in-law got me this deck for Christmas one year, and it was just a total surprise. She saw it and went, that's for her. So I'm eternally grateful. The bag did not come with it. I don't remember what kind of box it came in that went by the wayside. But here's the little brocade bag that I use in it. So let me look at the copyright on this quickly. The copyright is 2000. So 20 years old this deck is, and I want to tell you what a fabulous deck it is. Let's go through. So we have the Fairy Guide as the first card, absolutely literally a blank card. So when this card comes up, it's time for you to connect directly with your fairies and your messengers and figure out what they're trying to tell you. Then we have Unity. So the first section of cards is a group called the Singers. Let me see. Yes, blah, blah, blah. There's the zero card. The Singers of the Realms is what they're called. So we have Unity. And these are like, I mean, what do they look like to you? Pure energy. Unity, ecstasies, talking about ecstasy and just reveling in beingness. The Guardian at the gate means you're about ready to step through something. You're finishing something up and ready to have a breakthrough. He of the fiery sword, masculine energy. Can you tell? She of the crua, the feminine energy, receptive principle. The singer of connection. So you get the fiery sword and the crua together there. Great, right? Wise. The singer of initiation. So I want to look at the difference between the guardian at the gate, the singer of initiation, and the singer of transfiguration, because they're similar. So let's take a look at the guardian. Is passages to new life, opening, gatekeeping. So this is opportunities. The guardian at the gate talks about opportunities that you're passing on to something new, rite of passage, okay? And the singer of initiation, oh, wait a minute. This is intuition, sorry. I can't read. Singer of intuition, we'll get there. So obviously this is about your intuitive gifts. Singer of courage. And it's wonderful to just kind of sit with these and see what the pattern and the light does for you. The singer of initiation. Now we're, okay, so this is passage through trial. Initiation, so guardian at the gate just means things are changing. That there's a place you are at in your life and you're ready to move into a new phase. Initiation talks about going through a trial and having been through a rough time and passed through it. Then we have the singer of healing and the singer of transfiguration. So this is transformation. This talks about also going through a time of struggle, but this inner change. Transfiguration talks about an inner change happening. and not just having been through a tough time. It's you're transforming as a person. the singer of the chalice. Now, she of the crua is like a chalice, but she is the active, or the feminine principle of the power of receiving. And she of the chalice, or the singer of the chalice, just talks about all the good feelings, that feeling of your cup being full, the feeling of good feelings. And then there's Solus. Look at him, pure consciousness. He's amazing. It's great to spend some time looking into his eyes to get your own opened. The Maiden. And now we go into, so Solus stands alone between the singers of the realm and the she. So he's kind of this synthesis and his knowledge and pure consciousness. And then we go into the she, which are the people of the hills. They're the old ones. And so let's look at this group. And I want to see how long they go before it changes into the next group, because I'm not sure where that change happens. Guides and guardians. Okay, so it happens after that gnome. All right. We have the maiden, the journeyman, kind of reminiscent of the fool, off on an adventure. The bright mother, definitely empressy. She is the power of manifestation. So, you always hear fertility and abundance when you see the goddess, the mother goddess, the empress, these kind of vibes. But she really is about manifest reality. The goddess is about the form, what you can put your hand to, things actually manifest and real. So she represents manifest reality and the power over that, over manifestation. And then there's himself. Oh dear, look at the antlers. So I was telling a story on Wednesday night about these two cards when my son was very small, 6 I think, and we were going to have just a little sort of initiation blessing into his childhood, from babyhood into childhood, and it was Beltane, and we were at my sister-in-law's out on the porch, and he wanted nothing to do with this. My older daughter was like, yeah, let's do this. She was all down for ritual. He was like, don't want anything to do with it. So we just took him outside, did the quickest blessing, called in all the helpers, said the prayers and everything. And I said, okay, I had this deck. It's Beltane. Let's ask for a reading. So I closed my eyes. I did the shuffle. I heard cards flip out and land on the ground. And when I looked down, this is what I saw. Literally like that. The bright mother and himself as a couple lying face up on the ground. So it was like, happy Beltane, thanks for showing up. Yes, these cards are alive. My connection with Faerie is alive. Let's say that. The deck and the connection with it can only be as good as your connection to spirit. So, and as a gift deck, it's just got it going on. Lady of the Harvest, she talks about endings, things coming to an end, and what you have gained from these endings and the grief process. The Sage wisdom. So there's another pair, the Lady of the Harvest and the Sage. Then we have the Dark Lady. So she can be paired with the Sage as well, I think. She's about magic. Look at her. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies is all about love. And the master maker is mastery, taking your craft to the next level. The green woman, she is just wildness, cutting loose, being wild in nature, wild nature magic, all that kind of wee. Look at her tongue sticking out. She don't give a shit. She has no fucks to give. The piper, music, harmony, being in harmony and balance with things. The draw of music and how it pulls you in, and the magic of music as well. The fairy godmother, she also can be paired with the sage, or even Solus, she's telling me. The fairy godmother is about gifts and help when you need it. Oh, that gnome. This is supposedly, as they say, is a self-portrait of Brian Froud. And oh, that gnome. Let's see what he's about. I don't remember. I think he's a trickster. Yes, creative chaos, wild gifts, breaking habits and patterns. So he's the monkey wrench that comes in when things are going along swimmingly and then suddenly you're tripping over everything. Then we start the section called the Fairy Guides and Guardians. And let me look and see how far these go. Okay, 52. Fairy Guides and Guardians. Nellis the Alchemist, she talks about transformation as well, inner transformation, things that change and don't go back. Penelope Dreamweaver, about having a vision and a dream. Taom the Poet, this is about the spirit of poetry and kind of the seduction of that, and talking about the vision that's needed to do poetry. I'm hearing some things out there. It sounds like the heavens just opened up, but there's no rain. I don't know what's going on here. So, Taom, erotic energy, laughter. The Loam is about service and giving away. And it's, and she's not, you see here it says the Loam, and the is underlined. And that's how you say her name. She's not the Loam, she's the Loam. So she is about unconditional giving and unconditional receiving. She was talking about, I got her in a reading the other night, that when you feel like you're stuck and you don't quite know your path forward, just give your gifts. The undressing of a salad. This is about accomplishing seemingly impossible tasks and having the patience to see things through that take one little step at a time. Iris of the Rainbows talks about light breaking through and hope. That, the light that comes after rain, she talks about that sense of hope, the buoyancy and lightness of hope. Fairies of the future, looking forward to the future, vision. What are you after? What are you driving for? Sylvanius is about the truth and the mask that the truth wears. Unmasking the truth, revealing the truth. Then we have the Faun, who looks like he belongs with the singers, but he's not. He's an actual light being. So he is all about nature magic as well, the wildness of nature. Let me look at him. Understanding the nature of nature, natural wisdom and natural magic. So this talks about the laws of nature and having a grip on how things work. Spirit Dancer. This is about creative output, just self-expression, freedom of expression and putting it out there. Tobira of the Waters is about being in empathy and being in your emotions and being serene in them. So this is about emotional mastery, because when you have mastery of your emotions, you can feel them to their full extent and still feel serene. It talks about gracefully accepting change. And look at, I haven't even talked about the artwork, is it really artwork or is it actually the beings? There's such beautiful cards. Brian Froud's style is really distinct. He was the one that did the Labyrinth. That's his style on, the Skeksis and what the other guys' names are called. You can see it all through this deck. And he did Lady Coddington's pressed fairy book and Good Fairies, Bad Fairies. There's great books by Brian Froud, and it's so good that he did a deck. Leisty, Moon's Daughter. So this is psychic ability, spiritual guidance, and just sort of following those shadows, following those things that pull you on and kind of bring you onto your path. So synchronicities, things like that. Lusguna, look at her frog legs. She talks about kind of being down in the water and the muck and the mire, sunken treasure. So she talks about really pulling out the treasure, the story, the lessons in whatever muck you've rolled around in. And look at him. This is honesty. And that's what he's about. Honesty. Telling the truth. Look at his eyes. And just the relaxation in his face. He's just beautiful. So this starts now, with honesty starts the helpline troop. So there were fairy guides and guardians. This is the helpline troop. And let's see how they differentiate. These are the wee folk of fairy, large and small, who sometimes assist us in our daily lives. Okay. Honesty, Ilby the retriever. When he shows up, there's something you've forgotten. There's something that you need to retrieve. There's something that you need to reclaim. He's sweet too. He's got a very similar face to Honesty. Mick the Myomancer. He talks about detail, looking at things, going slowly, being patient, and looking at it, at whatever you're working on in great detail. A Myomancer reads omens from mice. Then we have Geo the Slow, and that's how it's spelled. It talks about just slowing the fuck down. Slow down. He says, Geo the Slow says, whatever time certain things take is the time they take. You know, our timetable isn't necessarily nature's timetable. So it's kind of like with this channel. I finally got to the point where I wasn't going to try to push it into, you know, I've got to make money, I have to do that. It's like, no, I'm just going to start doing this, and it will take whatever time it takes. It's slow organic growth is what Geo is about. Lists of the Shadows. So this is about shadow stuff due to trauma, addictions, the healing that happens of these, you know, these patterns and addictive behaviors that we're bound to. She also talks about self-esteem. Tayton the Sylph is ideas, wonderful ideas. It's a quickness of the intellect. Sylphs are the beings of air. So in air, it's the sylphs. In the south, it's salamanders. In the west, it's undines. And in the north, it's gnomes. So Tayton the Sylph, of course, would be the being of air, talking about ideas and clarity. Then we have the Friends, and this talks about support. Support that you get from friends and friendship. People you can trust. The Oak Men talk about deep roots, strength, ancient wisdom, going deep. So while we're talking about going slow with a couple things, this talks about going deep. So staying in place, and instead of moving forward, just staying where you are and going much, much deeper into whatever wisdom is available. Look at this. And then take a look at this. Do you see the other face here? Many, many, many of his beings do this. The Good Fairies, Bad Fairies book was like this. And the back of the cards is like this. There are faces both directions. Look at it that way, and you can turn it, and we've got the same faces that way. Okay. A collective of pixies. This talks about cooperating with people, collaborating and cooperating in a community setting, talking about community. Michael Mokkel. I don't remember, darling. Everyday bless. Okay, he's about play. He's about just goofing off and playing with things and not being so damn serious. Then we have Arvel Parrot. Communication. You see him pointing at the throat chakra and the light there. So he's pure and simple about communication. The Topsy-Turvets is the back of the cards, and it talks about a change of viewpoint, and it's not exactly the back of the cards. But you see we've got faces one way. Come on, you can pop it a little bit better. And then we've got faces another way. So, a change of how you look at things, a fresh viewpoint. Turn it upside down. Take a brand new take on it. Then we have the Ra. And the roar is just exactly what it looks like and sounds like. It's just a rush of energy. Haste, fast, go, 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 energy. Wild energy, pure potential. So it's something that needs to be harnessed, that's just wild and unbounded, and that you need to Harness if you want to use it. And then we have death, which now death starts the fairy challengers. So death talks about natural and timely endings and release and liberation. Then we have Epona's wild daughter. And while Leisty Moon's daughter talked about kind of intuition and following those synchronicities and being led by magic, Epona's wild daughter talks about nightmares and the things that can kind of take off without you. So depression, madness, just, when your mind is working overtime on shadow stuff and creating negativity. That's what Epona's wild daughter is about. The soul shrinker. You have known people like this. The soul shrinker comes up when you've got a psychic vampire on your heels and they're just sucking you dry. Not much more to say about that. Gluminous doom is a type of soul shrinker. Gluminous doom is the, you think that's bad. It'll never work. No, just the person that can't, I mean, it's depression, but it's the person that just can't get the hell out of seeing the downside of things. So self-pity, self-defeat, self-destruction. Luathus the Wild. This is haste and impulsiveness. He's just ready to rush in and bowl things over. Fire, spontaneity, and balance, but he's mostly just about the rush. Faf the Footer. Earthing, grounding, centering, dealing with reality. Faf the Footer says get out of the clouds and deal with things as they are now. Get your feet on the ground. And get in your body. Faf the Footer talks about getting in your body, getting a foundation under you, okay, instead of hanging in the air. The Bodacious Boda. You know, you've known somebody like this too. This is the person that's only trying to help. I only want to help, really. Here, let me do this. And they will not help in the way that you request or need. They will help in the way that they need to, and it always fucks things up. So this is a meddler, somebody who's meddling, tampering, helpful fixing, it says. The Pook. Okay, the Pook is a shape changer. So it talks about things getting ready to shift on you, good and bad, bad and good. So contradictions and paradoxes are at work when the Pook shows up. Jihobya. Jihobya is about your fears getting the better of you. The stuff that wakes you up in the middle of the night and the what if. Okay? Jihobya says it's imaginary fears, unreal hazards. Time to, again, address reality there. The Glanconer is about those things that throw a glamour and make you see something that's not there and pull you in seductively, and then you're trapped or you're stuck in a mistake or something. So the Glanconer is that kind of beautiful seduction that leads you astray. Indy. Look at Indy. Indy's a Libra. Indecision, indecisiveness, refusing to choose. Back and forth. So you can waste time and short circuit yourself by just refusing to make a choice and playing it off like, you can't decide or it's just too hard. And this is gotcha. Gotcha is the things that really do come up and get you in the middle of the night. So it's sudden shock, rude awakening, unexpected events that shake you. Then we have the last card in the deck, and on Wednesday when I was doing readings, and I heard something fall at one point, and I didn't know what it was, and after I ended the live stream, and I'm just making sure there's nobody else down there, and there isn't because I put this deck all together afterwards, but after I ended the live stream, I looked in there, and I thought that I had knocked a candle off, and that's what I did. There was a little tea light sitting here, an extra, that I knocked into the trash. And then I found him, who also threw himself into the trash. Now, the feline is about karma. He is about paying the price. And he threw himself into the trash because guess who's not paying the price in order to keep ourselves safe, in order to be a decent society, in order to be good human beings, in order to be truly civilized. We're not paying our dues here. So many people for so long, the privileged, have gotten away without paying their dues, while others, the unprivileged and the marginalized, have paid the fee for us. So here's the feline jumping in the trash to go, you know what, you guys, if you're not going to fucking pay the price here, I'm out. You know? I must be trash to you. I mean, he's kind of down. He's kind of being a downer, but still, he's getting our attention to say that if we want to be healthy, and this is about COVID too, if we want to be healthy, we have to pay the price. Everything in life is an exchange. I may have talked about this before, but when I graduated high school, the guy that did our commencement address did a speech that was called "Take What You Want and Pay for It." That's all there is to it. You can have anything you want as long as you're willing to pay for it. Put in the time, put in the study, literally pay for it. Do the work, earn it. This is the way life works, give and take. It's a balance, it's an exchange. Okay? The feline says we are not holding up our end of the bargain. And if we want to be safe, and if we want to survive, we're coming out the other end changed, there's no doubt about it, but if we want to survive, we need to pay up. So wear the fucking masks, people. I doubt that I've got any people that are resisting that watching my videos, but you never know. You never know. The thing is, if they gave you a pill that would knock down your chance of getting sick by 70%, you'd take it. That's what a mask does. So take the pill. It just goes over your mouth instead of in it. All right, I am going to do the 3 shuffle, 3 cut shuffle. And dear fairies, you did such great messages last night, and I'm so happy to have you in my hands again. Although I left you cherries last night and you didn't eat them. I don't understand. I've been scarfing up all the treats I've been leaving, but the thing I didn't leave out last night was some rum. So I'm going to leave a little cup of rum out there again tonight for you. I'll leave one every night if you need it, darlings, because I love you. You're my fairies. All right, let's cut, shuffle, and ask, what do we need to know right now? Who would like to come out and talk to us? On the third cut shuffle, I'll take 3 off the top. All right. The Singer of Healing, that Gnome, and Arvel Parrot. So, the Singer of Healing, of course, talks about healing and healing energy and what we need to do in order to heal. And oh, that Gnome. Now, one thing I want to say about this deck as well. I just last night sat and sort of made an effort to retain the meanings of the cards just by sight, and there's a reason for that. For the last 20 years I haven't learned this deck, and it's because the writing is so spectacularly good that I don't want my own interpretations. I want to read that because it's the voice of the fairies coming through, and it has been rare, if ever, that I do a reading with these that I don't read like almost verbatim what my issue is while I'm reading about the card. And I did a reading for myself the other night. I did six of them flew out of the deck, and I laid them out. And I had a conversation with a dear friend of mine earlier, and that reading was like every single card in it directly quoted a part of our conversation. And it reminded me how good this deck is. So, okay, Trickster, Creative Chaos, Wild Gifts, Breaking Habits and Patterns. So I'm going to go to the reading. It's time to leap into the air, letting the earth turn beneath you and discover where you come down again. That's interesting. I've talked a lot about when I'm doing a reading for someone, especially if they're in grief, of just kind of holding still and letting time flow past you, letting time flow by around you, not trying to get somewhere, so that you can be where you are and process your emotions. So I like that idea of jumping up and letting the earth turn beneath you and seeing where you come down again. Reasonable risks are okay. Even unreasonable risks are probably okay. No, they're not. No, they're not. Don't take risks right now with your health, because we've got the Singer of Healing there too. Use your head and look before you leap, of course, but do so understanding the actual jump is likely to be very rewarding. So we're talking about there's the Singer of Healing, but what I'm getting from these first two is wherever you've kind of been stuck, it really is time to take a leap of faith and move beyond that. The thing that you've healed, that you're kind of worried about, am I really healed? Should I move forward? That gnome is saying, yes, it's time to take a leap of faith and discover how much you have healed. Okay, in a reading, the presence of that gnome tells us that the forces of chaos are at work. Things may not be as they seem. This may very well be a good thing. Look for the unexpected, find the opportunity in it, and go for it. He says that no matter how confused things may seem, there's a way to make them better. But it is a creative way, one you haven't tried before. He says, think amazing new thoughts. So this is also just culturally, healing, talking about our culture healing and keeping us healthy. And this is talking about chaos being at work, and that we're not going back to the way things were. It's time to everything's going to be new. Chaos, the lightning has struck. Chaos has struck. It's time to let go of the old and let the creative thinking process take us into the new, because it's going to be unpredictable for a while. So that's also what he's saying, is just the unpredictability of where we are now, and to see what's coming in the future. Arvel Parrot keywords, all it says is communication. Clear communications are vitally important here. Strive for verbal brilliance. Listen carefully. Be articulate. Be willing to calmly debate the issues and explore ideas with others. Open communication will enhance the chances of success all around. Hard to come by these days. Arvel also suggests that the querent watch for body language, incomplete sentences, and unfinished thoughts, and try to discover what these signals are meant to get across. So I'm thinking here about schools reopening and the chaos that we're going through. What's happening is we've got people that are trying to force things back to normalcy, and it's not normal. We are still in the chaos of it, and trying to force us back into normalcy is just asking for trouble, asking for massive trouble, as we are seeing with these states that opened too soon, that never properly locked down, and the number of COVID cases is going through the roof. So if you're a parent, if you're a kid, if you're a teacher, just say no. Take a page out of Nancy Reagan. Say fucking no to school. Don't do it. Your kids are not going to turn into morons if they don't go to school. We homeschooled until my daughter was in middle school and my son was in second grade. And we basically unschooled, and they learned everything they needed to learn. They went into school with no hitches whatsoever. And we didn't do like structured lessons and online stuff. We just let the learning happen. We had a learning environment. We're a curious family, all kinds of great things that we did with our friends and stuff. And your kids, even if they sit home and fucking watch TV, they're going to learn, and they're not going to fall behind. Fall behind what? What are they falling behind? Some arbitrary standard that has been set by the government, and in most cases by people who are not teachers or trained in childhood development. Okay, stepping down from the soapbox here, but I'm saying that, the chaos that we're in now, that communication has to be very clear, or don't do it. So, when you're trying to deal with people that are crazy makers and you can't communicate with them because they don't believe in science and they don't hear anything that's being said and they don't have empathy. If you smell that as the case, this is a case where we can't communicate, then just don't do it. Don't let yourselves be pushed. Teachers, don't let yourselves be pushed. I wish every athlete would give $1 million to a teacher. or a school district to support the teachers until we're through this. I wish they would. Anyway, there we have Froud's Faeries, the Faeries Oracle. He has another one called The Heart of Faerie that I will review maybe next week, maybe another time. I really appreciate you being here. I also appreciate your donations. If you click that button below and shoot me some money, it will go straight towards the deck because I'm barreling down on 200 right now, and I can't wait to get there. I will see you again on Monday for an unboxing of a tarot, and on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another live stream of readings with yet another deck. And until then, stay safe. Black Lives Matter, Indigenous Lives Matter. Wash your hands. Wear the goddamn masks. My town has mandated the wearing of masks in public, so here we go. Game on. Anyway, please keep yourself safe. I value you. I cherish you, and I'm so happy every time you show up and justify my existence. Until I see you again on Monday, take care, everybody. This is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.